Deuteronomy chapter 33. And this is the blessing with which Moses, the man of God, blessed the sons of Israel before his death. And he says, Yahweh has come from Sinai, and has risen from Seir for them. He has shone from Mount Paran, and has come with myriads of holy ones. At his right came a fiery law for them. Indeed, he is loving the peoples. All his holy ones are in your hand, and they sat down at your foot. Each lifts up your words. Moses has commanded for us a law, a possession of the assembly of Jacob. He is king in Yeshurun, in the heads of the people gathering together, the tribes of Israel. Let Reuben live and not die, and let his men be an incalculable number. And this is for Judah, and he says, Hear, O Yahweh, the voice of Judah, and you bring him into his people. His hand has striven for him, and you are a help from his adversaries. And of Levi he said, Your perfections and your lights are for your pious one, whom you have tried in Massah. You strive with him at the waters of Meribah, who is saying of his father and his mother, I have not seen him. And he has not discerned his brothers, and he has not known his sons. For they have observed your saying, and they keep your covenant. They teach your judgments to Jacob and your law to Israel. They put incense in your nose, and whole burnt offering on your altar. Bless, O Yahweh, his strength, and accept the work of his hands. Strike the loins of his withstanders, and of those hating him, that they do not rise. Of Benjamin he said, The beloved of Yahweh dwells confidently by him, covering him over every day. Indeed, he dwells between his shoulders. And of Joseph he said, His land is blessed by Yahweh, by a precious thing of the heavens, by dew, and by the deep crouching beneath, and by a precious thing, fruits of the sun, and by a precious thing, cast forth by the months, and by a chief thing of the ancient mountains, and by a precious thing, the continuous heights, and by a precious thing, of earth and its fullness, and the good pleasure of him who is dwelling in the bush. Let it come for the head of Joseph, and for the crown of him who is separate from his brothers. His splendor is a firstling of his ox, and his horns are horns of a wild ox. With them he pushes the peoples all together to the ends of the earth, and they are the myriads of Ephraim, and they are the thousands of Manasseh. And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, O Zebulun, in your going out, and O Issachar, in your tents. They call peoples to the mountain. There they sacrifice righteous sacrifices. For they suck up the abundance of the seas, and hidden things hidden in the sand. And of Gad he said, Blessed is he who is enlarging Gad. He dwells as a lioness, and has torn the arm and the crown. And he provides the first part for himself, for there the portion of a lawgiver is covered. And he comes with the heads of the peoples. He has done the righteousness of Yahweh, and his judgments with Israel. And of Dan he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He leaps from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said, O Naphtali, satisfied with pleasure and full of the blessing of Yahweh, possess the west and the south. And of Asher he said, Asher is blessed with sons. Let him be accepted by his brothers, and dipping his foot in oil. Iron and bronze are your shoes, as your days, your strength. There is none like the God of Yeshurun, riding the heavens to your help, and in his excellence the skies. The eternal God is a habitation, and beneath are continuous arms. And he casts out the enemy from your presence and says, Destroy. And Israel dwells in confidence alone. The eye of Jacob is to a land of grain and wine. Also his heavens drop down dew. O your blessedness, O Israel, who is like you? A people saved by Yahweh, the shield of your help. And he who is the sword of your excellence, and your enemies are subdued for you, and you tread on their high places.